Welcome to Savor the Story podcast, where books and snacks are life. I'm Nicole.
I'm Vanessa. Hello.
Hello. I have to tell you, Vanessa, I feel wonderful.
I'm so happy.
To last week.
Yeah. When you were basically on your deathbed.
Exactly. Right. I hope that if you listen to last week's episode, you can tell the difference between my voice then and now, because I feel better. So if I don't sound better, I'm very upset about that.
No, you do. Also, I guess in that same vein, you could potentially tell the difference in the bonus bites episode too.
Right.
Because that one was over 3 different days because someone decided to die on the first day.
Yes, that took us so long to record one episode, and most of it, a third of it was my fault.
Only a third, yes. Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Yep. I think, what was it? Thursday we recorded episode 8, and then we were like, we can do bonus bites. And then we got I don't even know, 45 minutes into bonus bites, and I was like, I can't stop.
Just started dying. We tried to keep going. It did not work.
I know. I tried it and I got 3 minutes and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Done. It's like,
yes. And then the second day was the hurricane's fault.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the middle of I lost power. Mm-hmm. And it came back, and then we were like, oh, we could keep recording. And I think we recorded another 3 minutes.
Right.
And then it went out again, and it never came back. So.
No. But to be fair, mine went out right after that. So we were both out for the rest of that day, basically.
Right. So I think, the next day, I think it came back luckily it came back by Saturday. So we were able to, later that afternoon, finish everything up. But that was definitely one of the more labor-intensive episodes that we've done, and not just because it was more in depth and we had to put more work into it. And I'd never read it before, so I had to read it on top of my other books, so I was in panic mode.
Yeah, last week was wild.
Yeah. So, and I know a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't feel good, I'll read. I'm not like that. If I'm sick, I just want to take naps and be done.
Yeah, same. I just want to sleep. Yep.
So I did not do anything extra while I was sick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just what I made you read.
Just right. Yeah. So, I mean, so we came back, I think we came back from the cabin, and I just spent the rest, going straight into last week. I just went straight into being sick until I didn't even go to work.
I know. It was so sad.
I was sick on Tuesday. I was actually sick on Tuesday, and I was like, no, I can't give this to anybody. Wednesday, I started feeling better, and then Thursday, I felt good, but I couldn't stop coughing. So I was just nobody wants to be around that. But,
no, we don't need to listen to you cough all day. Right.
But on that note, I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
Do cough drops count as snacks? Because I ate 3 bags of
I think
cough drops.
This week I'll allow it.
Yes. I don't even have to tell you my snacks this week because I've already figured out my rating system.
Great. Just all of the cough drops.
Exactly. The menthol ones and the fruit ones and
you're just trying to figure out
floral.
Whatever worked.
Yeah. Yeah. It was Mike was like, I'm going to go to the store. Do you need anything? I said, bring me more cough drops. And he was like, okay.
Anyone that you can find.
Right. He's like, any flavor? And I was like, I don't care.
That's funny.
Please, sir, can I have some more? Yep. That was it.
Well, I have some updates from last week.
I'm interested to hear.
Great. One is I went to the book signing. I did post about it in our stories, but I went to the book signing, and it was the And That's Why We Drink podcast host wrote a book called the Road Atlas, Haunted Road Atlas, something. Again, it's their second one. But they did a signing and a little book talk thingy about it, and it was really fun. They were really nice. I was very nervous. I said things to them that was wrong. It was a mess. It was like meeting celebrities, but they were just so nice.
And they overlooked it.
Yes, they laughed about it a little bit, and then was like, "Yeah, cool,
sure."
So, we're just gonna pretend that I did great, and that's that. Second news for you.
Okay.
I made the volleyball team.
Yay! I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. She told me last week, actually, that they had 2 other girls that like dropped out of her team, or like can only be there part-time or something. So they need a full-time person. So I am officially on a team.
Nice.
The only problem is the week that the league starts is the week that we're going on a work trip.
Yeah. Dang.
So that's fun. I told her about it today. We'll figure it out. It's fine. But I'm officially on a team, and that's fun because I don't want to have to be like jumping around subbing for everybody. So I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. Also, I forgot to tell you when. Okay, so a year or 2 ago, something like that, my friend and I got matching tattoos. And they are it's like a desert scene, but it's got like a mountain with like bushes and stuff in the front. And I've told you before that I saw somebody in the bookstore, and they asked me, or no, I saw them at Ulta, and they asked me if it was a ACOTAR tattoo, because it does resemble like the Valaris like picture that you see with the mountain and the star, whatever. When I was at the book signing, I had another person ask me if it was a Valaris tattoo, and I'm so upset.
I got this before it was cool.
Yeah, I was like, me and my friend picked an unfortunate time to get mountains with stars on our body.
I know, you almost need another tattoo that just says, "This is not ACOTAR."
Exactly. I need to ask her if she wants to update our tattoo, because
I think
that's now either the second or third time that somebody has asked me, and it makes me really sad. And I'm like, no, it's the desert.
And it's never going to stop.
I know. Ugh. So I wanted to tell you that.
There's going to be a whole generation of like book girls who are going to be stopping you for the rest of your life.
Forever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to wear long sleeves for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Oh,
pretty much
great.
True. All that working out for nothing. You have guns,
right?
Guns, and you can't even show them off.
Can't even show them because I have
just
to hide
one
this
arm.
Stupid ACOTAR tattoo that I didn't even get on purpose. I'm sorry, I have a lot of stuff to tell you this week.
Well, I haven't seen you in like a week because I've been on death's doorstep. So
okay, my next thing is that Tim did Peloton rides this week because it's his week back from his long run. So he's doing like bike rides to kind of ease back in. And he tested the Kindle app on the Peloton.
And
he didn't love it.
Oh.
He said if he was just writing normally or whatever, he said he thinks he could do it. But the fact that he was doing like an actual workout where you have to like pay attention to your speed and your like all of the different things and your pace and like everything, he said it was too hard to focus on doing that and read at the same time. So he said it's not for him, unfortunately.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably like walk on a treadmill and run, but I don't know if I could read on a treadmill and run unless like maybe the words were bigger or something. Right.
Well, like it is large so print. I went in there and looked at it while he was using it, and it is like it's pretty big. It takes up the whole screen. And so it was big enough, I think, but it was just not. He's like, I can't focus on pace at the same time as trying to pay attention to what I'm reading.
How do you swipe the page? Like, do you have to actually physically swipe, or is there like hand controls?
No, I don't think so. I'll double check with him, but I think he just had to touch the screen.
See, that would be annoying too.
Yeah.
Like if you're holding on because you're like, if you could just have like a hand toggle or like that button.
Oh, yeah.
Clicker button. That'd be nice.
I don't think Peloton has buttons on the handles. I'll have to. I'll ask him. To be determined.
Peloton.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're looking for some, upgrades to your Kindle app, you should put some buttons on your bikes.
Soon to be sponsor of Savor the Story. One day, maybe.
Thanks, Peloton.
Yes.
In the future us thanks you.
Future us, yes. And then I have a random thing to tell you that happened today on my Time Hop. The app that shows you like past pictures and posts and stuff like that. 13 years ago today, I bought tickets to go to the midnight showing of Breaking Dawn.
Oh, is that the one we're reading right now?
Breaking Dawn is book 4.
That's the 4. That's book 4.
Yeah.
I had to look.
So it was part 1 of Breaking Dawn. Because the movies are broken into 2. But I saw that pop up today and I was like, oh, look how cute.
It's like your phone knew.
And my phone knew. It was like the time. And then I looked up the actual movie date and it's I think it was like November 17th or something. So I bought them the second they were available.
Nice. 12:01 in the morning.
Exactly. So tickets were secured today 13 years ago to go see it. And then my last thing that I have to tell you. It's kind of like book news or something like that. So all of the Onyx Storm teasers are coming out now, which is, if for anyone who doesn't know, book 3 of the Fourth Wing series. And I'm really upset about it. Because
I knew it was either I'm really excited or I'm not. And
I'm very excited for the book, but I don't want to know anything. I don't want to see like quotes from book 3. I don't want to see teasers. I don't want to hear people's theories. I want nothing.
I don't know. Yeah.
No. So
you want to be completely surprised.
Yes, I want nothing. So I'm almost at a point to where I might have to stop following Rebecca Yarros until the book comes out because she's posting so many things.
That's fair.
And I don't want to see them.
I think there's a fine line. Like, how do you hype up a book, but at the same time, like, I don't want to know I don't want anything because I don't want to spoil it. Because that's probably one of, like, the things that, I don't know, like, when I read a book and I'm super excited, I read it really fast.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to know anything. I want that enjoyment the whole time. When I know I'm at peak enjoyment in a book when I've like, read 100 pages in like literally like 20 minutes.
Right, exactly.
I have
like
to
I
know.
just don't know. I need to know. So like obviously she's not posting anything that's spoilers because she doesn't want to spoil it. But to me, I feel like anything is a spoiler because everything that you give me is something that I don't get to experience for the first time when I'm reading it.
Right.
So to me, I feel like even though it doesn't spoil any big plot lines, it's still taking away a piece of what I could be experiencing for the first time.
Right. Yeah.
So
the only thing I want to know is there's a dragon in it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's enough. We're good.
Right.
Are there dragons? Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Still there? Great.
Unless the answer is no, then I don't want to know.
No. Because then something really bad happened.
Right. Shit.
Yeah.
Don't tell me anything.
We're back to needing to know 0 things.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's where I've been feeling this week because I think it was either this week or last week that she started with the teasers, and I'm like immediately like, damn it, go away,
stop helping,
stop it.
I think it's fair.
Thank you.
We can stop following her until she stops,
January,
until it comes out.
Yes,
and you've read the book.
Yes. Which I plan to do the first day it comes out. So
yeah,
after that, I don't care what she posts.
Yeah, I think I need to. Well, I know I'm like 3/4 of the way done. So I think after October and spooky reads are over, I think I'm gonna go back in there and try and finish that book up.
All right. I plan to reread them both in January before the third one comes out.
Okay.
So, yeah, because I know it's recent that I read them, but I'm almost 40, man, and my memory is not what it used to be.
That's fair.
And so I feel like there's a lot of things that I don't, like little pieces that I don't remember. So I need to reread them before I jump in.
That's fair.
And then I'll just give you my snack and then we can move on. I haven't told you what my rating is yet. So there are these, I think I've told you about them before, but there's these like little rice cake chip things. They're from Rice Works and they're avocado ranch flavor and they're so delicious. However, Costco stopped selling them. Well, our Costco stopped selling them, like, I want to say I haven't seen them in months.
Okay.
So I found them online and I need you never to ask me how much I spent on the shipping.
Okay.
Never ask me.
Okay.
But I bought them and I had them shipped to me and I ate like 2 bags of them this week. So that's my rating this week.
Did you only stop eating them because you knew you were going to have to order more?
Yes.
Like,
I bought 5 bags.
I know, but like if you knew you could go to Costco and buy more anytime, would you have eaten more than 2 bags?
Probably. I won't lie to you.
That's fair.
They're so good. I love them so much, and I'm really upset that they're not at Costco anymore.
Yeah, get it together, Costco.
Gosh, I even looked at the Costco back home because if they were there, I was going to ask my mother-in-law to send them to me, but they were not there. So,
wow. I'm gonna send me a picture of what they look like. I'm gonna go up to Michigan to visit my sister next weekend, and there's a Costco there.
Okay, great, thank you.
So I'll look for them when I go there.
All right,
if we go there.
Yeah,
it's usually like a craft store or a bookstore or just margaritas. I don't know. Sometimes, but.
Well, you could look on like Instacart or something and see if they're even in stock, because that's what I did for the one in back home.
That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all my stuff.
That's cool. I have one snack comment. I know I already said I was gonna use my rating system on.
Yeah.
But just a snacky conversation bit. Okay, so I this week, like, I was sick and I didn't go grocery shopping. I did. I was too sickly to leave the house. Sure.
Right.
But I still needed groceries. And I was just like, well, it's easier for me to just get them delivered instead of making a list and sending Mike. I just deliver, you know? So I did it. And it's been a while since I've done it. And I blame drugs, like, you know, like the not like the type of drugs for, what are they called? For helping with your sickness, those types of drugs, whatever that is. But
medicine.
Thank you, medicine. But I was like, oh, apples sound delicious. I want an apple. I apparently bought bags of apples, not individual apples. So when they showed up, I had literally like bags and bags and bags of apples. And so I was just like, well, have to do something with all these. So when I was like, you know, I made like apple crisp this week. I've made apple cake this week. I've made apple ice cream. Like literally anything that can be made, apples can be made into. I have made them, and I still have almost a whole bag left. So,
well, I mean, your medicine mind just knew what you were craving.
Apparently. I was like, well, at least it's festive. I don't know.
That's
it's still fall themed.
Yep.
I don't know.
You're in season. Yes. So
that was just a, you know, by the by. Not so much like anything. I'm still not going to use apple anything is my system, but
we're still going with cough drops.
Still going with cough drops.
Okay.
I read 2 books this week. Okay. 3 if you include
Twilight,
that one. So this week I read 2 books. 3 if you include Twilight. I think I still have sick brain.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
the
going with.
medicine's still trying to leave your body.
Apparently, that's what we're going with. Yes, like I said, I completed 2 books this week in addition to Twilight. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Opium and Absinthe by Lydia Kang.
Okay.
I picked this one because it was a free audiobook on Audible.
Nice.
And I guess just before I jump into this book, I guess like if you want to call it trigger warning.
Okay.
I won't go in depth here, but this book does have some fairly big triggers. One is obviously, like the name implies, there's like the whole book is basically dealing with addiction. And then the second one is there is a scene where the female main character is almost raped. And it obviously, because it's not completed, it doesn't go in, but it is described.
Okay.
And it is ended. Like it's ended before she's actually, but it is, So,
okay.
That was
basically.
Keep in mind. And it is, like kind of like we talked about earlier, like, listening to books, it is a whole different experience.
Oh yeah.
Listening to that instead of just like, cause like with You Can Read, you can just like, flip through the pages. Yeah. So yeah. But other than that, this one, I picked it because, like I said, it was free and it was described as like a Gothic novel, like a historical fiction Gothic novel. And I was trying to keep with the spooky season vibes. Yeah. But I mean, other than those things, it was a pretty good book. Basically, the whole thing of the book is there's this girl, her name is Tilly.
That's a cute name.
I know. So she, her sister is murdered. So I guess, but it's not really described. But anyway, she's murdered. And it is about the time that the Dracula book comes out. Okay. And her murder is very similar to, like she has 2 puncture marks in her neck that look like fangs, and she's left in an alley, and there's like a bottle of absinthe sitting next to her. And so like the police kind of, because this is historic, if you want to call it Victorian Manhattan time frame. So not a lot of detective work is going on. So anyways, what happens to Tilly is at the same time her sister goes missing, she's out riding horses with friends or whatever, and she falls off the horse and she breaks her collarbone. Okay. And so basically, like in the time, like, oh, you have pain? Here's opium. So she's given opium. Yep. And while she's on opium, at the same time, like when she recovers, she finds out about her sister, and she's like, I'm going to figure out who did this because nobody is taking this serious. Right. And so she teams up with a newspaper like guy, and they're trying to solve this crime. And so that's what the whole book is about. I will say it, like she starts with opium, and then she goes on to they're giving her morphine injections. So, and then she goes to like a rehabilitation center, and to get her out of the rehabilitation center, they give her like cocaine. And I was just like, oh, yep, sounds about right. What the literal F is going on here? This poor girl is just trying to figure out what happened to her sister, and she's literally just being like, here, more. So yeah, that whole. Sorry, go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You said that she died and she had 2 puncture wounds. I immediately went. Yes. Yeah, I immediately went vampire.
Yes.
Oh, it's a vampire.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, the 2 the Dracula book came out, so that's right. Everybody, okay. Yeah, yep. So
I think that's why I was going that way. But is it fantasy then, or did she not actually have? Is it not actually a vampire that killed her? Is that spoily? Oh,
I don't know if it's spoily because it's a historical fiction. It's
not fantasy.
It's not fantasy, right? So I mean, but I think you're led through the whole book thinking that is a possibility, and then it, they end up finding out who, spoiler, they end up finding out who the murderer is. Right. So, and it's not Dracula.
Ah, damn it.
So, but yeah, it was an okay book. I listened to it, like I said. So, I mean, I don't know, 3.5, maybe 3.5 cough drops.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
All right.
My second book.
Yeah.
Is called The Salt Grows Heavy, and it is by Cassandra Khaw. It is a horror novella.
Ooh.
And it was not what I was expecting. But
so how are you with horror? Because I don't see you reading horror.
I know I'm not.
Okay, great.
I was trying to keep to the spooky season vibes. Right. So I was like,
bold choice, Nicole.
Right. So I had started another book. I had started another book to keep within, the same vibe. But because I had also had to fit Twilight in, I got to like Sunday and I was, dude, there's no way I'm gonna be able to finish this book. I'm like page 30. Like I was like, that's not gonna, or it was like 70 or something, but there's no way that this is gonna happen. Plus I just don't read physical books as fast as Kindle. So I was like, you know what, I think I have a Halloween-y kind of book. I had bought this I think a used book sale or something like this. And I had bought it for the cover because I thought the cover art was kind of cool.
All right.
And I thought the book description was kind of interesting. So like I said, horror novella, not really my normal vibe, but it fits with the season.
Okay.
So, but I ended up, I think because it was so short, it was easy for me to get through. Get through, plus I got through it really fast, so it wasn't just like hundreds of pages of just like gore
of terror
and terror. So but this book is the description starts, so the book description is basically like this mermaid and this plague doctor meet up together, and her children have so
this is not where I thought that was going.
So her children have like devoured a kingdom. It's basically everything is in ruins. She meets up with this plague doctor and they're trying to figure out what they should do next. That's the description. So
you're saying plague? Like plague?
Plague.
I feel like your Michiganian-ness is coming out.
A plague doctor.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Sorry. So, my bad.
It's okay.
Okay, so the book starts, like you read the description of the book starts already like in the middle of the description. You're already there because it's a novella. It's 100 and some pages, so everything moves quick. Like in the first 20 pages, they've introduced all the characters, and the mermaid and the plague doctor already know where they're going next. And you've already, because like in it, they're like, oh, they meet these 3 saints and these children, and it's obviously a bad deal. You've already done all of that by page 20.
Okay.
So you're already in the thick of it really quickly. So basically, that's what happens. She's trying to figure out what to do next. The plague doctor's with her. They're like, well, let's just walk into the woods. And she's like, there's another, a thing over there I can go do. So they go in there, they meet these saints and all of the children, and the rest of the book is just like them learning what the horror is that is described in this book, and then trying to figure out if they can escape it or if they're gonna die. Firstly, let me say, I thought the book was really kind of difficult to follow because nothing is described in, quite the needed amount of detail. Because obviously it's trying to move quick. It's only 100 pages. But also on top of that, there's no backstory because it's just like the backstory is basically the description.
Right.
There's very brief references to the past. And also this book is written like a thesaurus.
Oh,
like
great.
all the words are just, they're not everyday talking words.
Okay.
So I wish it would have been on my Kindle so I could have been like, is this the appropriate time to use this long ass word?
Right.
Yeah, it was, the first 20 pages or 30 pages or whatever, she's describing the plague doctor's mask. She describes it 3 times.
Great.
Which I thought was excessive for 20
good
pages.
Good use of pages.
Right. But every single time she describes it, it's like she uses different words to describe it. So like he has a mask in the first time she describes it, and then the second time she's like, I can hear him talking through the mask, and then she describes it a second way, and then it's just like, and then he touched his mask and it's a different way, and I was like, we get it. Stop talking about the mask and tell me more about things in normal talk.
That's right.
But other than that, you get used to it. It kind of the excessive words taper off after a while.
Okay.
And then the story kind of gets moving and it gets more interesting. There's, like I said, there's not a super amount of detail. I wish this book could have been longer because I really would have, I feel like I would have enjoyed this. I would have enjoyed more horror, strangely enough. So, but it's pretty, I mean, it's kind of graphic. I mean, there's a lot of death and cutting people open, so like that's kind of described a little kind of graphically, but I mean the story is great.
Well, that's good.
So and the ending was wonderful. Like you really honestly don't know if everybody is going to die at the end of the book.
It keeps you guessing the whole time.
Right. And so if you have any, like, if you are able in the first 20 pages to create like a link between you and like a character, like an emotional link, you cannot say, like, they'll be alive at the end. No, you cannot say.
All right. Well, that's good.
That's good. I liked it. I give that one 3.5, 4 stars, or 3.5, 4 cough drops.
Yes.
And the only reason, like I said, I didn't give it more is because I wish it wasn't a novella, and I wish it was longer, and I also could do with less big words.
Okay.
So,
I have a question. If you're reading horror or anything like that, do you prefer like the gory horror, like murderous, or like paranormal, if you had to pick between the 2 horror books?
Oh man, I think that's interesting thought process there, because I feel like if it's paranormal, it will give me nightmares.
Okay.
Like, because now I'm in a dark, like, you know, you're in your room and it's dark and like something creaks and you're like, ah, fuck, it's a ghost. And it's here.
There's a demon in my room.
Right. But I don't like gore because if I see it in TV or I hear it or whatever, it's like empathy. Like I can feel it. It makes my knees hurt. Like I get all oogly inside, and I'm just like, ugh. So I think it's a little bit easier with books because I can skim.
That's right.
Be like, oh, gross, grossy justice. Too many bloods.
Okay,
I can just like look away. So
fair.
That's the answer.
Okay,
I would prefer to read about blood and guts than spooky things.
Than spooky. Okay, that's fair. I think I'm the opposite. I think I would prefer the paranormal.
You want to be by yourself in your house and have to sprint up to your bedroom in the dark because.
But if you hide under something there, if you hide under the blankets, they can't get you.
Right, just like if your feet aren't hanging off the edge of the bed, they can't touch you.
That's right.
That's fair.
Okay. Well, I will. The first book I read 2 this week, and I'm going to start with the horror book that I read just so we stay on theme. It was Sister Book Club.
Okay.
She just finished it today though, so we have not talked about it yet. So I can't wait to talk to her about this one. Oh, actually, one little note before I get into it. I listened to this on the an app called Everand. Yes. And I don't think I've mentioned it on here before, but I kind of want to mention it. So if you haven't heard of Everand, it's a app that has audiobooks and ebooks on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it works very similarly to like a Kindle Unlimited, where you pay like $11.99 a month and you have full access to their entire library. So it's not like an Audible where you have to buy a credit or you have to pay for each book individually. They don't have everything. Some of it's a little bit limited, but I would say over the last month of me using it, there's been, I would say like 7 out of 10 books that I've looked for have been on there. Mm-hmm. So that's where I listened to this book at. It was on Everand. So both my sister and I decided we would listen to it because it's on there. We're already paying for it. We might as well listen.
Right.
Can
also I ask you one question? Oh, yes. Go ahead. First, also, our sponsors.
Also soon to be sponsor of Save the Story, Everand. We're coming for sponsors this episode.
All of them.
Yes.
I can't get in the way of that first. But I will say, so I was going to talk about it next week because like I did start a book on Everand this week. And it's the first one. Did you notice that like their listen speed, you can only listen in like 1, 1.2, 1.5, like 1.8.
Yes, I didn't even notice
look at the
that.
other ones.
No.
I am sad. So.
Yeah, I didn't love that. I think I ended up listening to this one at 1.2 times because 1.5 felt a little fast. So I don't know how new they are. I feel like they've been around for a while, but they're probably still growing and figuring it out. So hopefully they change that. But
I will say that's probably, so far, that's my only gripe is there's not like, you know how Audible you can by 0.5 or 0.05 you can like really minutely get in there and decide the best speed. I've waffled back and forth between 1.2 and 1.5 in this book that I'm listening to right now.
Okay.
It's like
it's hard sometimes. Yeah.
You're messing up.
Yeah.
So, okay. Sorry. Continue on.
Okay. So we read We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to, like, it got picked up to be a movie. But when I Googled it, it was very hard to find information. So it must be like very, very early on in like a pre-production type situation. But anyways, it's a horror. I'm going to have a really hard time explaining this one because I don't know what the fuck I read. So
when you said you were excited to talk to your sister about it, that was not where I thought you were going with this. I was like,
I'm excited.
It was so great and blah blah blah. No,
because I need to know I need her to tell me what I read.
I need to understand the book.
What happened. So I'll tell you what the little thing says about it. And yeah. Okay, so the publisher actually says that it's a cross between Parasite and Get Out. So I've never seen Parasite, but I know that it's like a creepy movie. So anyway, so it's these two characters, Eve and Charlie. They buy a house with the intent of flipping it. And one day, shortly after moving in, Charlie goes out to do something in town, and Eve answers the door to this man, his wife, and 3 kids. And the man, Thomas, says that he grew up there, and they're driving through town, and he wants to show his family like his childhood home, basically. Okay. And basically, shit just goes crazy from there. So Eve, like
this is where I keep my murders.
Right. So like Eve is reluctant at first, but ultimately ends up letting them in. And it's like, it's weird. Like, so the family doesn't take a hint when it's time to leave. Like, they're there forever. Suddenly, like, one of their youngest daughter, the little girl, she like disappears down in the basement, and they can't find her and they can't get her out. So like right when they're like, yeah, we're gonna leave, she just like runs away. And then they're like, well, we can't leave until she comes out. So there's this weird thing. There's like this weird presence that shows up. It's never clear. Is it a ghost? Is it a person? Is it don't fucking know. So at some point in the book, Charlie just vanishes because she like comes home from her errands. She meets the family. They have dinner, blah, blah, blah. But then like after a while, she vanishes. Don't know what happened to her. So basically the whole thing is trying to figure out, is there something wrong with Eve? Like, is she imagining things? Mm-hmm. Or is there something going on with the family? Is there something going on with the house?
Right.
Like, very weird. Throughout the book, there's these like bonus chapters, but you never know what. I still don't know what they are. So at first I thought they were like little radio clips or something. And then I was like, okay, they're just like documents that somebody's reading. And then I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I think I know what they are now.
Never discovered.
No. I still I'm not 100% sure of what they are, but I did find I had to do some Googling after this to have, okay. I was like, ending explained on Google. And it seems like the author purposely left the ending open to interpretation, which I don't love. And all of the pieces throughout, he kind of left things open for your own interpretation of what actually was going on and what was happening. So there's that. I also found out at the end of every one of those little bonus episodes, there was like some beeping. And I thought that it was like, you know, like old timey radio when it would like beep, 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 whatever. Apparently it was Morse code, and you were supposed to know Morse code. And so I Googled that as well.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
So if you plan to read this book, anyone, know that you should figure out what the Morse code is at the end, but don't figure it all out at first. It's one word per bonus chapter. And then at the very end, it's like a sentence. It's cool, I guess, to know what it says, but I don't really know how I feel about it. I honestly am having a really hard time rating it because I just don't know what it is. So like for enjoyment and like intrigue, I would probably do like 4 rice cake chip things. I don't know what I call them. Avocado ranch chips. Just for that, but just like at the end of my confusion, I feel like I can't give it a rating. Like
that makes sense.
I don't know what happened.
Fair. Maybe you'll have a rating after you speak to your sister.
Yes, maybe I'll just steal her rating.
I was going to say, just take hers.
Yes.
Yeah. So because the narrator left it open to interpretation so much, would you consider that like unreliable narration, or would you consider it just like they're more trying to be cliffhangers? It's like whatever, you know, like
I do think that it's a little bit of an unreliable narrator situation because she doesn't even know what's going on. So like she thinks that she knows what's happening, but there's a lot of stuff around her that makes it seem like maybe that's not the case.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit unreliable because she has no idea what's happening.
Fair.
So, but yeah, there's one little thing at the end that really throws a wrench into it. That's like, oh, well, maybe this is. So I need somebody, please email me. Tell me if you have better theories or like what you know happened or whatever, because I'm very interested to hear
what this book is actually about.
What are your theories and what are your ideas?
Do you think they're going to make a second book?
It didn't seem like there was going to be a follow-on.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if the movie will kind of close things up more. Like maybe whoever the screenwriter is will make a decision one way or the other of what actually is happening and lean into that.
That makes sense.
I would accept this.
I could also see them being like, no, we should make it a cliffhanger. That way we can make up a second movie.
Right, exactly.
Money grubbers.
Okay, my next one.
Oh, yes.
I did it. I finished the trilogy. I almost didn't.
I was gonna say, you gave up how much of your weekend?
So much, because I'm pretty sure in the last episode when we talked about this and you said, have you even started it? And I was like, yeah, I'm like 30% in. I was lying. I did not know. I went back and I was like, cool, I'm ready to get going again. And I was like, oh, you've only read 30 pages. So I was like, great, I have almost 700 more pages to go and I've got 2 days. So that happened. Hey, future Vanessa here. I was just editing this episode and realized I never actually said the name of the book that I was reviewing right now. I only mentioned that it's the third book of the trilogy. So I wanted to hop in real fast and let you know that the name of the book is Mother of Death and Dawn, and it's the third book of the War of Lost Hearts trilogy by Carissa Broadbent. Okay, I'll get back to the review now. Bye. So I finished it. Honestly, I think I would have finished it a lot faster if the first 40 to 50% was not there.
Well, if half the book was gone, you say.
because once it hit like that 40% mark, it got really good. Like it finally picked up. So the first 40%, it's the same 3 POVs that we had in book 2. But in book 3, they're all separated. So I think that I didn't love that, especially the 2 leads, the Max and Tassana. Them being apart is not where this book is at. So I just it was really slow for me for that, because I was just ready. Like I was just done. Like, okay, I get it. I get what's happening. Everyone's gonna end up back in the same spot again. Like, let's just get there. And so it took me a while to get through that part of it.
Do you think that if that first 30-40% would have been left out, you still could have followed the story later? Or do you think it was needed?
I think some of it was needed. I don't think all of it was needed. Especially with that third point of view. There was a lot of her stuff that I just didn't feel like. I get what the author was doing by bringing that in and like having some of that background for her, but I don't think it really helped the story a whole lot. So yeah. But the
last 50 to 60%
made
up for it?
Yeah. Last that part, I still think that there's some things that are missing. It almost got to a point to where it was like, okay, we're needing to close up, so some things just kind of happened. But I still really enjoyed it. So I know we've talked about this before, but like the unpronounceable names and stuff like that, I feel like I was confused because almost all of the names are like unpronounceable to me, and it almost made them like forgettable. So every time I read a name, I was like, I don't remember who this is, even though I've seen this name 35 times. Like I don't remember who this person is because this name is not a word. Like
exactly.
So yeah. I had a little bit of a hard time with that. But I mean, overall, I think I'm still going to give it 4 rice chips, avocado ranch rice chips.
Okay.
I think I'm still going to give it 4. I would say the series overall, I think I would give 4.
Okay.
Or the trilogy overall. I would give it a 4. I still think the first 2 books deserve, like, I almost feel like I want to raise book 1 to a 5. leave book 2 at 4.5, and then book 3 would be a 4.
Okay.
Rating. And I also came to the conclusion that I think I want you to read book 1, but I will tell you what happens in 2 and 3.
Sweet. I can do that.
Yeah, I don't think you need to commit to all 3. But I do think that you might enjoy the first one.
All right, sweet. Yeah, because you knew that. Okay. You should read this. How about this, the first one?
How about just the first one? Yes.
I like that that's our agreement. Is I only have to read the first book and you'll just tell me what happens.
Yes, I will. I'll have you tell me what your theories are, and then I will tell you what happens.
Yes.
So that was my final. I'm glad that I finished it. I really ultimately overall enjoyed it. There's some slowness in it that I didn't really love. I think Max Antarius is still probably one of my all-time favorite. He's definitely in my like top 5 book boyfriends ever.
Nice.
So he's just very adorable.
Okay.
But yeah, and again, with all the side characters, I feel like we didn't get as much of them as I would have liked in this one, but I still really enjoyed them. And yeah, I think that's it.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. Well, I'm sad the books sounded like they
dropped off a little.
Got less exciting as they went on, but
yeah.
I'm glad that it sounds like the whole thing overall was an enjoyable read.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Okay. Cool. Minus the 700-page book.
Right.
I have to that's something else because I think I had 300 pages and I was like, nope, I give up already. And you were like, I'm gonna do this.
I had to. I already made a promise that I failed on when I said I was gonna read both of them by last episode, and then I couldn't split the series with an episode in between. I couldn't do it. So I made myself.
Makes sense.
Yes.
That's fair.
All right. So we're gonna do sorry. We're not doing that. I'll give you this. I'll give you this ASMR, but not I won't beat on the mic. Okay. It is a question.
Okay.
Do you prefer series or standalone books?
Yeah.
This one's a really easy one.
Yeah. Yeah. This would be really quick.
Okay. Answer.
Short
done.
discussion.
Well, we'll do a second one.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, we can do that. I think this one is pretty much I think we already talked about it a little bit in this episode.
I think
anyways.
so.
I prefer one book standalone.
And I want all the series.
I do want all the series. I think you didn't you say in our first episode 0, you're like 98% of my books are series books.
Our series, yes.
Yes. I think now that I know that I have you to tell me what happens in book 2 and 3, I seriously don't I guess I don't care anymore because
that's right.
I guess I prefer a standalone, but I'm fine with either, but I'm also 100% fine getting to the second book and reading the description, and if the description is detailed enough to give spoilers, I'm like, meh.
All right.
I don't have to read the second one. So
okay, great. That's gonna make our bonus bites real fun.
I know. You're gonna be so
I don't think they're gonna be maybe one day we'll do a standalone, but so far not, that's not in the works.
Well, the book that for my pick, I'm between 2 and they're series, so
right.
I will pick a series.
Okay.
It might be a duology though. We'll call it to do so.
Yeah.
But
okay. Do you want to do another pick?
Yeah, I think
okay. Because we're done.
4 seconds. Yes.
Okay. All right. This is a thoughts on the book number being on front of the series books.
Oh.
So if it's a series, you have to tell me on the front of the cover or on the spine, what book number it is.
Mm-hmm.
So give me your thoughts.
Yes. Like, it's helpful. I appreciate it. I wish more books did it. Like I was telling you that one book that I read last week.
Oh yeah.
It was like I didn't even realize it until I got into it that it was a book 3. At the second book, I'm blanking on what it's called right now, but the second book in a Discovery of Witches.
Okay.
I pick that book up every single time I'm in the store because it's a pretty book. And I'm like, I want to read this book. And then I open the front and I'm like, wait a second.
This doesn't sound right.
Is this the second book? I can't even tell from the description. Yeah. My assumption is it is. And so I just closed the book and I put it back. Yep. So I'm like, I'm too nervous to buy this book.
I think in the last like 6 months, I've bought like 2 or 3 books that were a book 2 or 3 or whatever, because 1, it doesn't say it on the cover, and 2, I didn't look it up before I bought it. I was just like, oh, this sounds good, and I bought it. I get home, go to add it to my Goodreads, and I'm like, ugh, why does this say book 3?
What have I done?
Yeah, so I need every book that's in a series to say what number it is on the cover.
Yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't want to,
right?
As like a publisher, or like unless you're just trying to sell books by like to people by mistake, so they have to buy the first ones. Right. And if that's your way of selling books, sir,
I don't want to read your shit.
Get out of here. I don't know. Like,
I don't. It bothers me.
Yeah, it's not ideal, and
no.
I just
actually when we were at the Columbus Book Festival, I even thanked the author of one of the books that we bought, because there's the numbers on the front, and I was like, thank you, sir, for doing this.
Yeah. I feel like I was going to say something, but I forgot.
Sorry.
That's okay. It probably wasn't important.
That's my fault.
No, it's okay.
All right.
We're going to go with not important.
Okay. Do you have anything else before I tell the people what to do?
I don't know. You blanked my mind.
Okay. Well, if it comes back while I'm telling them what to do, then
I get to interrupt you.
You can interrupt.
I figured it
out. So please go and give us 5 stars on any of your listening platforms that you're on, and leave us a comment in there. You know, just tell us that you love us. Go to our Instagram, Savor the Story Pod, and follow us, like us, do all the things that you do there. And every week after the episode post, we put our discussion question in the story. So go and give us your thoughts. Like, what are your favorites between Standalone and Series? And how much anger does it give you when the book number is not on the front of the books?
Yeah, we should make that the slider.
Oh yeah, like,
anger slider.
Okay, I'll do that. And then go to our website, savorthestorypod.com, and send us an email there. You can send us an email about book recommendations, snack recommendations. Go, if you've listened to our Twilight bonus bites, go in there and send us your thoughts on that, because we will read some of anything that we missed or anything like that at the beginning of New Moon's bonus bite. I think that's everything. Just go show us some love out there in the world.
I know. I was going to bring up bonus bites earlier, but I was like, well, by the time you guys hear it, it'll be out for like 2 weeks, but it's brand new to us.
Yes.
So like, I'm super excited about that.
They still have time.
Yes. Still have time. Go do it.
Yes.
What are you waiting for?
Right. What are you waiting for? And that's it.
Yay. And I still didn't remember what I was going to say about book numbers.
You're going to remember as soon as I stop recording.
Yeah. Or like shower, like brush my teeth, like, something. When I'm trying to do work.
That's a good time to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Yeah. Get out of here.